Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, you'll be creating a holiday fever experience that creates timeless family traditions. You're trying to build your family the most valuable Christmas from gifts, trees, stockings, and Christmas spirit. Will you exemplify the Christmas spirit or embrace the race to Christmas? Holiday Fever, a family tradition, is for 2 to 6 players, plays in 30 to 60 minutes for ages 8 and up. Today, we'll be doing a rule school where I'll teach you how to set up and play the game so that you don't have to read the rulebook yourself. Now I've placed timestamps below me in the description of this video just in case you want to jump to a specific section of the rules. Without further ado, let's get started. Holiday Fever, a family tradition, creates an experience that produces timeless family traditions. You're trying to build your family the most valuable Christmas from gifts, trees, stockings, and Christmas spirit. Some decisions will gain you deposits, where other decisions will gain you debts. At the end of the game, you're trying to have the most valuable Christmas. You'll be moving around the board and encountering different experiences, like taking your sweet time to buy gifts like diamond earrings, gingerbread, curling irons, baseball mitts, knit caps, puppies, backstage passes, and more. You'll then be trying to secretly add values to those wrapped gifts. But you have to be careful because if you get stuck with coal, it acts as a debt at the end of the game. You might be trying to race towards Christmas by setting up your tree with lights and ornaments. Or maybe you want to be the player who wants to collect the most gifts. Along the way, Naughty and Nice cards will help create memorable moments like singing along to your favorite Christmas carol or giving a short speech on why holidays are special to you. These gain Christmas spirit, which forgives debts that you've acquired along the way. Once you start December, you'll be weaving through the calendar trying to create a Christmas miracle. But it's the player with the highest valued Christmas who will win the game. To set up, you're going to place the game board in the middle of the table where everyone can reach it. Next, each player is going to select a color that goes along with the business. For example, blue is the toy distribution center. So you'll take this business card and place it in front of you. Everyone will take their token. We'll put it on the board in just a moment. But if you're playing with less than 6 players, you can take the token and business cards for those colors and put them back in the box. You won't need them. Next, you're going to find the deck of gift cards. Now, we removed the orange player. We took their business card and their token, and we removed it from the game. We're going to play with 5 players today. Now, in this gift card deck, you're going to look for the corresponding colored gift cards that correspond with the colors that you may have removed. So if you're playing with 6 players, you'll play with all of the gift cards. But if you're playing with less than 6, for every color you removed from the game, you'll remove all of the gift cards of those colors. So in this case, we just removed the orange ones. But if you removed other colors, you'd remove those as well. You'll shuffle the rest of the gift card deck, the value deck, and the Naughty or Nice deck and place them on the corresponding spots on the board. Next, each player is going to take their player token and place it on the white elephant space in the corner that says Start Here. Now, to do the white elephant gift, each player is going to get a gift and value card. Now, usually during the game, the gifts and value cards are kept secret face down, but in the white elephant, each player is going to take a gift card and place it face up, but they're going to take a value card and keep it secret. Now, they can look at the other side, but they don't want to show it to their opponents. So for 5 players, it might look something like this. We have a gingerbread, curling iron, pet fish, diamond earrings, and puppy. Each one of them has a gift that everyone can see and a value card. Now at this point, players can trade for the gift and associated value card that's with it. And the player to the left of the start player is the first to be able to trade. And if you land on this space later in the game, it's the player to the left of the one that landed on this that gets to trade first, meaning that the player who landed on this or the start player is the last one to decide. To finish wrapping your gift, just hide the value cards beneath the gift so other players don't know how many value cards each of your gifts have. Give each player a scorecard. On this, you're going to write your name, the date, the number of players, and you're going to draw your best Christmas tree in that area to sketch the tree. Now you can start the game with the youngest player going first. The object of the game is to have the highest value of Christmas, which you can see here at the bottom of your scorecard. Over the course of the game, you're going to be getting deposits on the right side, and you'll be getting debts on the left side. At the end of the game, your value is all your deposits minus all your debts, and whoever has the highest value is the winner. That's what you're trying to do. Now turns go clockwise in this game. On your turn, you're going to roll the 2 dice. You're then going to move your player piece always clockwise around the board. And then when you get to a spot, you're going to do what it says or you have an opportunity there. And then it'll be the next player's clockwise turn. So in this case, the blue player is the first player and they rolled a 4. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to move here to the Christmas party. Now this just simply says draw 1 gift and 2 value cards. Now, if you remember, everyone started with a gift and a value card, and you can look at these anytime you want, but make sure you place them face down. You don't show anybody these anytime throughout the game. And so we have a gift card. So you can look at it. You don't want to show anybody else, but it's a baseball mitt, so I'm going to put it face down. We also got 2 value cards. So the first one is a 20. Again, it's keeping a secret. I will place this under one of these. I can even place it under this one if I want to, just like that, putting it under that card. And then the second value card we drew was, a big one, 500. Now, when you end your turn, each of your gifts have to have at least 1 value card underneath it, just like that. And remember to always wrap your gifts by sliding the value cards underneath so people can't see how many value cards are underneath those gifts. And once you have gifts and value cards together, they can't be split up or rearranged in any way unless a specific card or effect in the game tells you you can. Now, collecting gift and value cards is one of the main strategies in the game because at the end of the game, anything that's positive there under those gifts are going to be positive deposits, which you're trying to get a lot of because that's what makes the entire value of Christmas at the end is deposits minus debts. So that's one of the main strategies is you can take your time and try to get as many gifts and as many value cards to them as you can to beef that up. Then the next player clockwise will take their turn. Now let's talk about the other main strategy in the game. Let's say they ended up at Stir Crazy Arts and Crafts. So here they can pay 40 to buy 3 items. Now we see value cards, we see gifts, we see an ornament, and we see a light. If you buy a gift, it comes with a value card because all gifts must have at least 1 value card beneath it. You can also buy value cards separately in case you want to add to a gift you already own. But you can buy, these other things as well. Now you can buy up to 3 items and you can buy different ones or you can buy the same ones. And keeping in mind, if you do buy that gift with the value card, that's considered 1 item. Now keep in mind that anytime you pay for anything in this game, you'll be writing it down on the debts as you get those. And anytime you actually receive money in this game, you'll be writing it down in the deposits. So let's say here we bought an ornament, a light, and a value card. So here I put the debt of 40, I put my ornament hanging, and I have my little light on there. I know I'm a terrible drawer, but that's what my lights look like. Now the reason why I said that this is going to show you the other main strategy in the game is instead of taking your time and shopping and getting gifts and value cards, you could sort of try to rush to Christmas. And that is, if you ever get 3 ornaments and 3 lights, so you'll take your player piece and put it right on the family reunion spot on the December calendar. Now, each player, starting with the player to the left of who got those 3 lights and ornaments, will be able to possibly give away a gift. Now, they don't have to, but if they do, they're going to get a Christmas Spirit Star, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And remember to always wrap your gifts by sliding the value cards underneath so people can't see how many value cards are underneath those gifts. And so when you're giving away a gift, you can take the gift and the value cards, they have to all go together, and you'll pass it to one of the other players who will secretly look at them and then place them in front of them face down. When it becomes that player's turn, they can give it away as well. This means the player that got to that family reunion spot will be the last to decide if they want to give away a gift. However, there is an exception. If your gift is coal, you cannot give this gift away. This actually acts in reverse of the other gifts. It's actually a debt. So at the end of the game, coal will be actually worth, in this case, minus 300 or 300 towards a debt. Instead of if it was a normal gift, it would be 300 of a deposit. So you can't give away coal in this step. Now I mentioned that each player that does give away the gift gets a Christmas Spirit Star. Now that's here, the logo's here, it says CS for Christmas Spirit, and you can color this in from top to bottom. So if you get 1 star, you color in this one here. What this does is any debts at the end of the game that are next to a colored in Christmas Spirit Star essentially are not debts. They are removed and not counted, so those are great things. Now keep in mind, you don't need to have a debt to earn Christmas Spirit. Essentially that's forgiving debts that you haven't yet earned. Now remember, this person got here because they had 3 lights and ornaments on their tree. On their next turn, and starting on their next turn, they'll roll 2 dice and they will move that amount. If they land on one of these spaces, they do what it says. Once they get to 12, they're only going to roll 1 die from here on out. Now if you had 3 lights and ornaments and you're in the calendar, but for some reason you're to lose one of those, you'd cross it off on your diagram, and then you would come off the calendar and go to your business. This is the purple player, they go to the purple business cookie cutters, and this is where they will now stay on this board until they again get 3 ornaments and 3 lights, and they'll go back to the beginning of the December calendar. Now in this case, when they were coming off the calendar because they lost an ornament or a light, they don't do what this says. In normal circumstances, if they're not coming off the calendar, if you land on the business spot that is your own color, you'd collect 200 if it's your own color. However, if you land on a spot that's somebody else's business, you will pay them 200. Now remember, if you pay, you essentially put 200 in your debts, and whoever collects puts 200 in their deposits. And if there was no green player, you'd simply do nothing. Now there is a spot on the board for naughty or nice. In that case, you'd take the card naughty or nice from the board and you would simply just do what it says. In this case, it says play now. And here you'd choose a favorite carol and join and sing along, and each player that does gains 1 Christmas spirit. We've already talked to you about that. Or sometimes, this one also is play now, Homeowners Association, you win the first prize in the neighborhood Christmas light contest. You give a short speech on why the holidays are special. This little sign tells you you're going to be giving a speech. Now, if you do this and you do give a speech, you get a Christmas Spirit Star and you get to collect 300 and gain a light or ornament. Sometimes you'll get cards that say play anytime, and if you get this, you will not show it to anybody. You'll read it and you can either play it now or you can put it face down in front of you and use it later. And once you play any of these cards, they get recycled to the bottom of the deck face down. Anytime you roll doubles on your turn, you get a doubles deal. You get 10 times any doubles rolled on your turn. In this case, we rolled double 4s. That adds up to an 8. 8 times 10, we add 80 to the deposits. Now earlier we talked about different ways of gaining gifts and trading gifts and things like that. Now each player, if you remember, starts with one of the business cards, and the other side is a stocking. Once per game, you can take your stocking card and place it over a gift and value cards, and this just means this card cannot be stolen or moved hands in any way. And once the card's on here, any cards underneath it cannot be moved or added to in any way unless it's an effect in the game specifically says so. And if a special effect does remove this card, then you can use it again later. Now earlier we mentioned that one way to get to this family reunion spot is to actually have 3 lights and ornaments. But there's actually another way that causes everyone to move to the family reunion spot. Now if the last card from either the gift or the value pile gets taken, then all players that aren't already on the calendar will get to go to the family reunion spot with their piece and activate the family reunion spot as mentioned previously. Then it'll go to the next player's turn clockwise. Now once this race to Christmas starts, each player is going to roll 2 dice on their turn and move that many. You do not activate the spaces in this race to Christmas, and once they're on 12 or past it, then they just roll 1 die. Now let's say it looked like this. It's the blue player's turn. If they roll something that puts them past Christmas, they do nothing. It's the next player's turn. However, let's say the blue player got 3, they landed exactly on it, the game is going to end and they will collect $500 of deposits, and you sing a carol of your choice, and this is the end of the game. Then each player is going to use their scorecard to score themselves, and for each of the gifts you're going to add up the values below them. So like here we have an $800 deposit. Coal is negative, remember it's a debt, so we have a $20 debt here. The baseball mitt we have $520, and for each light and ornament you get $100 each, so I put that there. I had some debts earlier from buying things. Now remember I had 1 Christmas Spirit Star, so this debt is forgiven. So essentially I'd add all of this and I would subtract to it any debts that weren't forgiven from the star, and my total would be this. Whoever has the most is the winner. And one more important note is that if you were the one to land on this Christmas spot and you had 3 lights and 3 ornaments, you get to forgive all of your debts. They're not worth anything, which is great because those normally are negative numbers for you. Now on the back of your scorecard, you're encouraged to write a journal of your fun memories that will make new traditions, like we sang jingle bells and grandma sang the wrong words. Also in the rulebook, there's family records, which you write down who won, what their score was, and the number of players and who they were. And then anytime you beat that, you keep track of it here. Also, you're encouraged to create your own family rules and changes to the games that make it more fun for you, and you can keep track of those rules here. Now I'm going to go over some of the specifics of additional spots. The holiday auction, you can guess a gift. And if it's right, then that player gives you that gift and all of the value cards underneath it, or you can simply sell a gift for $150. Now there's also two spots called Noble Books and Holiday Pawn where you can buy or sell an item for a certain amount, $120 or $180 respectively. For example, you might secretly have a knit cap gift only worth $20 right now. You could sell that and gain more money from those places. Or you might want to erase an ornament or a light off your tree and gain the money, like the $180, which is more than these because these are only worth $100 at the end. Keep in mind that cold gifts can be sold when spaces or cards allow you to sell gifts. At the charitable donation spot, regardless of who got here, all players can, if they want to, donate to a charity of their choice. This could be a real charity or one that's made up in the spirit of the game. Now to do so, you'd write $50 under your debts and fill in a Christmas spirit star. On the chili cook-off winner, you collect 300. You give a speech on what's your recipe for success in life, and if you do that, you get a Christmas spirit star. On this spot, you will draw a naughty or nice card and follow the instructions as we've already showed you. On your next roll, you're going to roll the dice. If you don't roll double sixes in this case, you basically take your turn as normal. However, if you roll double sixes, you would take $720. You'd get to add them in your deposits and you'd still do the space as normal. That's 12 spots from here. Well, I hope this helped you dive right into the holiday fever, a family tradition, and get to the fun quicker than you normally would if you had to read the rulebook yourself. Now, if you have further questions about the rules, I've placed a link below me in the description of this video, and that's the best place to ask them since I'll be notified, but also so will the creators of Holiday Fever.